and that's the bottom line.
And the truth shall set you free.
Welcome to The Bottom Line with Steve the Truth Newton, along with his co-host, Harry Clary and Rick Morris. They cover everything from high school to the pros and everything in between. If it's sports, they've got it right here. Now, let's take you to Steve the Truth with The Bottom Line.
That's right. We are here at the studios, and we appreciate you joining us on this beautiful day today. And, of course, I am Steve the Truth, alongside the man, the myth, the legend, that is Mr. Harry Clary. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. And, Steve, we've had a lot of luck with good weather while we've been doing this show.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And, of course, the man, the entertainer that is Rick Morris behind the glass. Rick, how you doing today, sir?
I am doing great.
Yes, it's been one of those
A little struggle a few minutes ago, but I'm doing great now.
Yeah, and then, like I said, hey, if you're listening to us, Rick, give them the phone number they can call if they're watching and want to get on the show.
It's going to be 804-919-4192.
All right, give us a call if you're watching us on YouTube. And, of course, we make our big debut next Sunday at 9 a.m., August 2nd on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Harry, your thoughts on that?
I'm pretty excited about it, Steve. I never dreamed, when you said, hey, let's go do a radio show, I didn't think we would be on ESPN in 2026. It wasn't even on the radar.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, we have been in radio for, I've been in radio since 2008. And Harry, you've been in radio for
about 2005, but not really steady till 2008 with you.
That's right. And we do sports talk, and we appreciate the other network that we were on and everything. I want to give a shout out to my lovely wife. She said everything is sounding good. And I want to give her a nice shout out and say, hey, appreciate you listening.
Yeah, it's nice to know we're on. You got to ask people,
Yeah, and like I said, if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show YouTube channel, like I said, give us a call. That number again, Rick?
804-919-4192.
4192, and we'll get you on the show. And of course, like we do every week right here on the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show, we talk about the news of the week, Harry. And tonight we're talking NASCAR. This past Sunday, NASCAR was in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and I had the opportunity I've been to North Wilkesboro a couple of times, and Joey Logano pretty much dominated the race. He hadn't won a race all season long, and he dominated this race. And, of course, that helps him out. That's the first win in 20 races for Joey Logano in the 22 car.
Well, Carolina has a rich history in racing. Gosh, there was a time when somebody from Carolina won about half the races.
Yeah, of course, coming in, he creeped into the top 17. Of course, only top 16 qualified for the playoffs, and he was 17th coming in, so he's comfortably in the top 16. Now I believe we got 5 more races, 6 more races, and of course they're coming up to Richmond here August 15th as well. Should be a lot of fun on that, which I covered that race last year as well. So that's your NASCAR. Taking a look at your NASCAR standings right now for 2026. Number 1 is Denny Hamlin. He's the local guy, of course. He's in the lead at 842. He's had 11 top 5s, 13 top 10s, and he has 4 wins on the season. Tyler Reddick, of course, he owns Tyler Reddick's car alongside of Michael Jordan, and he won the first 3 races of the season, which never ever before has happened. He's second at 774. Ryan Blaney, who won 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, he's third. Ty Gibbs and my man Chase Elliott is fifth at 634. He has 2 wins this season. And of course, this week they're going to the Brickyard, so that'll be on coming up this Sunday. So that'll be great there with NASCAR. We want to, and like I said, every week we're going to try to keep you up with NASCAR, pro football, college football, the best way we can for that 1 hour on ESPN 106.1 Richmond. And, of course, Harry, the big news, of course, it is training camp. And the show that we're having today is all about big things that might happen, biggest storylines for each team going into training camp. And this is the best time of year. You know, this is like Christmas time to me. You know, I'm a big football fan, and when I mean big, I'm 5'11", 280. And so your thoughts, man, of this time of year?
You can smell football in the air, especially when September comes around. But yes, Steve, I'm definitely excited about pro football, the biggest sport in the United States.
Yeah, and I'm slowly becoming the biggest sport in the world. I know the World Cup just finished, and that was fun to watch too, Spain and Argentina. And like I said, I watched the World Cup. That's pretty much what I watched so far as soccer is, you know, during the World Cup. And that was fun, seeing the fans all over the world being here in the United States. It was a lot of fun. But that's what we're going to do in the second half of the show. And then, of course, the third segment of the show is the one, the only, the Fantasy Football Authority. That is Mr. Harry Clary. You're going to break down the quarterbacks today.
Yes, we're going to talk about quarterbacks.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. And, of course, other news and headlines of today. Tyreek Hill, of the week, excuse me, says he has no power and is recovering with his left leg. The free agent wide receiver could still be a long way from returning to the National Football League. Hill posted a YouTube video Wednesday that showed him working out as he discussed the dislocated knee and multiple ligament tears he suffered in Week 4 last season against the New York Jets with the Miami Dolphins. Of course, Hill is 32 years old. He says that he was told might not be able to walk again after their injury, and now he feels good 10 months removed from the pair of surgeries that he had. So he's looking to come back and make a change. And, of course, athletes like that, they recover a little quicker than people that don't exercise.
He's a freak of nature, and if anyone can do it, I believe Tyreek Hill can do it.
Yeah, the Miami Dolphins released the 8-time Pro Bowler in February, making him a free agent for the first time in his 10-year career. So could he end up back in Kansas City?
Well, somebody that wants trouble, so I guess he'll go to the Raiders or Dallas.
you might be right, yeah. And staying in football, of course, the first overall pick quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, signed his rookie contract with the Las Vegas Raiders on Thursday. The team announced Mendoza signed a 4-year, $57.27 million guaranteed deal for 5 with a 5th-year option. The Raiders' entire 10-player 2026 class is now under contract, as they reported today. Well, they report on the 28th of July, which is Tuesday, and the veterans will arrive on Tuesday. Rookies arrive today. So Mendoza is under contract. And, of course, Los Angeles Rams quarterback Ty Simpson is the only first-round pick not signed yet headed into training camp. And Mendoza is the first player that the Raiders drafted first overall since, you know who that is, Jamarcus Russell. Woo! Which some people say he was the biggest what?
Bust.
The biggest bust in the National Football League. And that was in 07. When he was drafted.
Right, well, he had a game that he was a big guy, and his game was really good for college at the time, but some of those guys don't learn how to play in the pros.
Yeah, it's a big difference between high school and college, and there's a big difference between college and the pros. And, I remember the little story that came out. Jamarcus Russell I believe he got arrested for somebody saying that he was the biggest busted, so he went and
busted them.
You're exactly right. And, of course, the other quarterback on the roster for the Raiders is Kirk Cousins. They signed him in the offseason, and, of course, Cousins currently is the upper hand in the quarterback competition, having received most of the first-team reps doing the Raiders' offseason program. Meanwhile, Mendoza played mostly with the third team and occasionally reps with the second-team offense. So Vegas signed him in the offseason to bring in the young man to teach him as he goes along.
And Mendoza didn't like that.
Oh, yeah. Mendoza, like I said, and then they said something the other day, not changing gears and stuff, but, we're coming into a college football season where the University of Indiana won the national championship. So that tells you right there, anything could happen. You know, your team, anything can happen. The New York Knicks ain't won a championship in 53 years. They won. So, yeah, this is...
So you think Miami has a chance this year? Is that where you're going with
well,
this?
I think we got a chance to have a 1, but it'd be the first pick of the draft where they got us sitting at. But we'll talk about that. Like I said, that's coming up after the commercial break here. After our first break, we're going to start breaking down some of the teams in the National Football League. And let's switch gears to college football. The SEC had their media day this past week as well. And, of course, LSU coach Lane Kiffin said he now regrets how he handled the messy exit from Ole Miss before the Rebels' surprising run in the college football playoffs last year. You remember that?
Sure do.
He went ahead and took the money, and then they said, hey, you got to come now. And then he told his assistant coaches, if you're coming with me, you got to come. And then they let somebody else, and then Ole Miss went in there and played very, very well. And after he reached a deal to replace Brian Kelly at LSU, Kiffin said he should have walked away when Ole Miss athletic director Keith Carter told him no. So he should have stayed there, and just for the athletes, nothing else.
Ego gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah, Kiffin told ESPN on Thursday, but I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing that I looked at life that way now instead of saying, no, I don't. I was right. So, like I said, time heals everything, and we wish him luck at LSU. And, of course, they get the cream of the crop in New Orleans and, Louisiana and everything down there. So they will be competitive, and Lane Kiffin's been competitive wherever he went to.
Yeah, that area does very well until they get into the NFL.
I don't know. You stop and think about it. Jeffries, we talked about this on last week's show. The wide receivers, LSU.
Oh, I was talking about after they get to the Saints.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, that's the college football roundup there, and that's the news of the week. And, of course, Harry, how was your week, my man?
Oh, my week was great. Steve, I learned a lot this week. I learned how to read a weather report.
Yeah.
And I know that AM stands for all morning.
You're exactly right. Rick, how was your week, big guy?
My week was good. We had a great show at the Sort Pump Poorhouse and had a packed crowd there. And plus working on stuff for this show today.
Yeah, and we appreciate everything that Rick does behind the glass to make us sound and look as good as possible.
As good as possible. I'm glad you added that part.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all joining us on YouTube as well. And we want to thank all our sponsors. And, of course, Keith Wagner. I don't know if Wag is watching, but he's a big sponsor with Hourglass Realty Group. He's a sponsor of, I believe, the Fantasy Football Authority show as well. And we got Legan Jones Insurance. Andy Clark, I want to thank him. K&L Barbecue, where friends meet to eat. They're a big sponsor of the show. And Tony's Oily World, who will be with us, too, coming up over the next couple of weeks right here on the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. But I do want to give a shout-out to somebody who's local. Been a big fan of our program. Have been on the program a lot over the last 18, 16 years or what have you. And that is the head coach for the Hopewell Blue Devils. When I started doing Hopewell Blue Devils football on the local station there in Hopewell, that it was his second year coaching. And since then, he's won 2 state championships as a head coach. And this week, they announced he is the new athletic and activities director for Hopewell High School.
Well, he's earned it, Steve. And I remember when he came around, too. Remember, he was telling us, boy, we're going to have a great football team because those 8th graders and 9th graders are getting ready to come up here, and we're going to have this really, really good team. And
they got a young quarterback coming up who I got to meet this past week. His name is King Holloway. He's a freshman, and he's taller than you, Harry.
Well, he's at least 5'9".
Yeah, I mean he's.
I'm 5'8.5".
He's a big kid. He's left-handed. He looks like a Michael Vick type of athlete, but we'll let Coach Irby explain all that next week because he is our guest next week right here on the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show for our first week on 106.1
And we know how important the quarterback is.
Exactly. And then August 12th, we'll have the athletic director for West End Christian School. They got a whole new sports program over there they're working with. So we'll have Billy Horn on the 12th, the 16th of August. And Coach Irby be with us on August 2nd. So, and I'm trying to work a deal out with Tom Hall with Prince George High School and get him on the 5th. And that's what we do here. We cover the Tri-City area for you, bring it to you on Sunday mornings between 9 and 10. And, of course, we also bring you pro football and college football that we'll have throughout the season. And, of course, everybody's seen it on the news. That's your sports, that ESPN has laid off a lot of personalities there up on the upper division. But we have signed a 6-month deal with the local ESPN in Richmond, 106.1. So we'll be with you until at least 1st of February. So we'll take you all the way through the football season and right up to the Super Bowl.
We're signed up for 6 months. And so it's going to be late January before we decide, or they decide, whether we're going to continue this.
Yeah, you're exactly right. With that, we're going to take a break. We want to thank you for watching us right there on YouTube. And like I said, we'll be right back right here on the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show on ESPN 106.1 Richmond.
K&L Barbecue at 1410 Maple Street, inside Cavalier Square, Hopewell. Wants you to know they have great specials on the daily menu, such as hamburger steaks, grilled chicken, a lightly fried chicken sandwich, and of course, the best chicken and dumplings in the Tri-Cities. And don't forget about their world-famous barbecue and sauce. Dine in or carry out at K&L Barbecue. Call 458-4241. That's 458-4241 for K&L Barbecue.
I just want to encourage everybody listening today. Your health matters. Your peace matters. You don't have to settle for feeling exhausted, stressed, or just stuck wherever you are. God gave us everything we need. Simple, powerful gifts from the earth to support our bodies naturally. It's not complicated. It's not overwhelming. It's just about taking one small step back to what He originally intended. You deserve to feel amazing. And natural solutions are really closer than you think. It's just a text, a phone call, or a stop by Carr Brothers away.
Start your wellness journey today. Reach out to Tony Carr Hathaway. She's been waiting for you. Text wellness to 804-212-8571.
Looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate? Let Keith and Mandy guide you through the journey of homeownership for years to come. With over 17 years of experience as multi-million-dollar producers, they specialize in residential and commercial properties across Richmond, Chesterfield, the Tri-Cities, and surrounding areas. Call 804-712-0188 and visit them at 11801 Center Street in Chester. They're online at hourglassrealtygroup.com.
Hi, this is Andy Clark with Ligon Jones Insurance Services. We're proud to give back to our community by supporting local youth sports and encourage you all to get out and cheer for your team. We're a local independent agent representing Erie Insurance and several others. Give us a call at 804-458-8522 or stop by our new location at 5392 Prince George Drive, Suite B, and let us show you what old-fashioned customer service feels like. We can be your insurance concierge and save you money. www.ligonjones.com.
And that's the bottom line.
And the truth, you'll set you free.
Now let's get back to the bottom line with Steve the Truth Nugent, Harry Clary, and Rick Morris.
All right, we are back here. And I do want to give a shout out to Keith and Wag of Hourglass Realty Group, and we're trying to get that fixed there for you, Keith, and get that. That's the first show that we're doing on YouTube, so we got little kinks to get out. But of course, if you get a chance, give Hourglass Realty Group a call, and we'll have Wag on with us over the season as well. He said, "Go Commanders!" He's all about them Washington Commanders. Harry, what do you think?
Well, most people in this area are Washington Commanders fans, as they have a lot of great fans.
I thought they were all Broncos fans.
Of course, I am Steve the Truth, and this is the Bottom Line Sports Talk radio show with the man, the myth, the legend, that is Mr. Harry Clary, and the man behind the glass, that is the entertainer, which is Rick Morris. He is a Denver Bronco fan, obviously.
And we let him work with us anyway.
That's right. You're exactly right. Now, I do want to say something about the National Basketball Association. Of course, Boston Celtics forward Jordan Walsh has agreed to a 3-year, $15 million extension with the franchise, sources tell ESPN. He averaged 5.4 points, 4 points, and 4 rebounds per game last season. But the big deal, which we're waiting on the big announcement from LeBron James, of course, today ESPN Anthony Slater joined the NBA today and discussed how Golden State are feeling in their pursuit of LeBron James. And he said the Warriors are pessimistic that signing LeBron James will take place. Since in the beginning, they just really not thought that the top-notch guy is going to come to Golden State, and they said they're not out to get him and this, that, and the other. So it don't look like LeBron James will be going to Golden State with Steph Curry.
Well, as great as LeBron is for his age, they probably would have loved to have had him 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. But to me, it looks like LeBron's going to end up in Cleveland again.
I think he'll end up in Cleveland or Philadelphia.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and see if he can get the process going there in Philadelphia there. Of course, like I said, we want to thank you for joining on YouTube, the Bottom Line Sports Talk radio show. Now we're going to talk about big storylines coming up in the National Football League. Training camp opens this week. Some open for rookies this week. The veterans will be there next week. The first football game, which is the Hall of Fame game, is August 6th. So that'll be played on that Thursday night, and that's the official start of football season, I would assume. And I'm looking forward to that as well. Now, taking a look at some of these teams here, we'll start off with the Dallas Cowboys. How quickly can Christian Parker's defense get caught up to speed? That's the question there. A lot of changes in personnel, potentially up to 7 new starters on that defense for the Dallas Cowboys. And, Harry, last year, Dallas's fault was the defense. The offense would score 30 points. The defense would give up 35.
Oh, yeah, they were scoring 30 and giving up 30 points a game.
Yeah, the Cowboys are moving from a 3-4 system. The pass rush has much more improved, the biggest addition being the trade for edge rusher Gray from the Green Bay Packers. The linebacker room is not particularly deep. With Overshawn will be proven he can stay healthy. Of course, health is everything to every team out there.
And the hardest thing to predict in the NFL. Dallas, they're loaded. They just got to get the chemistry, get the coaching, and get it together.
Yeah, the Cowboys do not have another doomsday defense to succeed in 2026, but they do need to keep the scores down and play competitive because the offensive side of the ball is very explosive.
And the Micah Parsons trade worked out better for Dallas than it did for Green Bay.
Yeah, as of right now.
As of now.
Yep. And, of course, with Washington Commanders there, will the coordinator changes pay off? The Commanders have the first-year coordinator on offense and on defense. Their reason for optimism, but it's also a gamble as Dan Quinn enters his 3rd season as head coach. Of course, the first year he came in, him and Daniels went all the way to the NFC Championship game, ended up losing to the Philadelphia Eagles. And last year, injuries kind of got the quarterback in the Washington Commanders. Now, sometimes you might hear me say Redskins, but they'll always be the Redskins to me. I was listening to last week's show as well, and I called them the Washington Redskins a couple times, but they are the Commanders, but they'll always be the Redskins.
I keep calling them the Commanders by mistake.
That's right. Now, they added some pass rushers, strong season from holdovers tackle Payne and linebacker Frankie, who would help the team. Of course, Kisenberry is not with them anymore with the Washington Reds, and the move pays off. Washington could have a fun season, says John Kern of ESPN. Now, your thoughts of Washington.
Well, they're going to get Terry McLaurin back. And Terry McLaurin, a couple of years ago, they've also got Luke McCaffrey. And at running back, they have Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Boy, that's hard to say. Anyways, last name's Merritt. Mm-hmm. And they look like they're on track for a pretty good year. The only problem they have is Philadelphia, Dallas, and a much improved New York Giants team.
Yeah, that whole division is going to be pretty good, I think. Now, the other big team in the NFC is the Los Angeles Rams. I'll get it out here in a minute. Can the Rams live up to the hype based on their off-season moves with Harry the last couple of weeks? That's all we've talked about is the Rams.
Well, the Rams were number 1 in scoring last year, and they were in the top 10 in rushing and passing yards in the NFL. So if you're playing fantasy football and you want some players that are going to get down the field, the Rams are going to be one of those teams.
Yeah, Rams coach Sean McVay was asked about that pressure, and he said, wow, the team isn't narrative to things that are being said. They're not listening to the outside noise. They're doing what they're supposed to do in camp. And he wants to make sure the outside noise doesn't affect the group. And, of course, like I said, that's anything. Every team right now has a chance, Harry.
Oh, absolutely. It's 32 teams, and it seems like every one of them their fans think they're supposed to win the Super Bowl, and we know you got a 3% chance if you're going to go with 32 teams.
That's right. And, of course, my team is probably going to be.
Well, your team's got a .0003 chance.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Now, moving on to the AFC, the Buffalo Bills, the biggest storyline. Will they transition with their new defensive coordinator? Of course, they got a new coach as well. It changes the face of the offseason. Of course, the unit going from Sean McDermott's scheme from the past season to the new defensive coordinator scheme, which is a 3-4 base, shift from McDermott's 4-3, along with a variety of other changes as well for the Buffalo Bills. But you got Josh Allen, so you're going to have a chance in every game.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to be the guy that's going to put it all out on the line and put his body on the line to get that first down, to get that touchdown. They got a new head coach, Joe Brady, and also they brought in DJ Moore, the wide receiver from the Chicago Bears.
That's right. And, of course, I told the story a couple of weeks ago on the show that the quarterback coach was the Tyrod Taylor that was with Virginia Tech that went on, and he was the quarterback coach with Josh Allen. And then when Brady came in, now he's with I think he's with the Raiders.
Right. Well, he was the quarterback at Buffalo at one time. He's played, I think, for 8 or 9 teams, though, I believe.
Yeah, he's the quarterback coach at the Raiders, I think. And then, like I said, if you're listening, you want to chime in, of course, the number is 919
804
41. Yeah, 804 919 4192. Is that right, Rick?
That is correct.
Yeah, give us a call if you get a chance. We'll get you on the air. Of course, let's move on to the Miami Dolphins. The big storyline is how big of a role this draft class will play right away. The Dolphins dealt most veterans away. Of course, we sent our wide receiver, Waddle. He's with the Broncos right now. And like I said, they already said that we're sandbagging for the pick for Archie Manning coming out of Texas. And all the predictions out there got the Miami Dolphins winning no more than 4 games, Harry. Your thoughts of the Miami Dolphins?
Well, they still have Devon Achane coming back. And
that's all we got.
That's pretty much what I was going to say. They're in the good thing about rebuilding is it's a new start for everybody. And the players on the team that have never made it with anybody else say, hey, I've got a chance to make this here. So the competition's tough. Yeah. And I think you give them 2 years, they'll be fine.
Yeah, well, we're definitely in a rebuilding year, and they call us the Green Bay Packers of the South because our GM came from Green Bay, our coach came from Green Bay, and now our quarterback came from Green Bay.
Sure did, in Liberty University.
Yep.
Went from cold weather to hot weather.
Yeah, to nice weather.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, staying in the AFC East, the New England Patriots, of course, there is a contract resolution with cornerback Christian Gonzalez. I think just resolved that here recently. Eligible for an extension for the first time in his career, the 2025 Pro Bowler wasn't present for the majority of the volunteer offseason program and participated in only walkthroughs and low-tempo portions of the mandatory minicamp. Asked June 9th he would play this season without a new contract, he said, "We got a long time to that season." So that's it looked like he's ready to play, and I think I saw something recently to where they're close to getting him that extension.
Right. Well, they got Mike Vrabel, and they also picked up A.J. Brown this year, which is really going to help them. And, of course, they have our hometown hero, Travion Henderson,
yes,
which we are all excited to watch every time they play.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we got Coach Irby on next week, and we'll ask him about his thoughts about him moving on to, his first rookie season in the National Football League. I think he did well. And like I said, hopefully he don't have that sophomore jinx. So it should be a lot of fun there. And of course, you're talking about Grable. Let's talk about that. That offseason mess with at the camp with the reporter and all that stuff. He come out and apologized. I'm pretty sure that's not going to go away any this season.
Well, Vrabel is doesn't have a filter. He's going to say exactly what he wants to say. And what a great linebacker he was. And he's probably the only person in history to have 12 passes thrown to him and every one of them be a touchdown.
That's right. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he played for the New England Patriots. And, of course, I think they got what they got. And, of course, we can talk briefly about the New York Jets just because they're in the AFC East, and like I said, they out of the 4 teams in the AFC East, the New York Jets aren't even fourth with division wins.
Well,
the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, see, I think Robert Saleh is going to be the coach for Tennessee, and he was once with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to prove that nothing works at the Jets and everything works anywhere else.
Yeah, I think Tennessee, of course, Cam's looking pretty good. The quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
And but with the Raiders, which vision of Geno Smith are we getting, Harry, with the Jets? And we talked about it last week. Folks out there, Harry's not a big Jets fan.
I'm a fan. It's just they're cursed.
Yeah. There's something. I don't know if they're cursed or not, but Smith was a disappointment for the Las Vegas Raiders last season. So can he turn it around? Finishing 27th in quarterback rating, leading the NFL with 17 interceptions, Harry.
He had Jet-like numbers.
Yes, he did. That's why they wanted him. The Jets acquired him with their bridge quarterback, betting that he can be the 2022-2023 version of himself. And, of course, he was 50-22 for the Seattle Seahawks. And when they got rid of him, the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl.
And they were pretty good with him, though.
Yes, they were. And then, like I said, quarterback by NFL standards would win for the Jets. He should win some games. Of course, playing in the division with my Miami Dolphins, he'll probably win 2 right there.
I think they'll split.
Yeah, well, with that, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk about the AFC North with the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and get you all set up. And then we got, don't forget, the segment coming up very shortly, the Fantasy Football Authority with Mr. Harry Clary. He's talking quarterbacks this year, headed into your drafts. I know in August a lot of people start drafting fantasy football drafts. So Harry's going to be right on top of things here, get you set up right here on the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show, right here on ESPN 106.1 Richmond.
I just want to encourage everybody listening today. Your health matters. Your peace matters. You don't have to settle for feeling exhausted, stressed, or just stuck wherever you are. God gave us everything we need. Simple, powerful gifts from the earth to support our bodies naturally. It's not complicated. It's not overwhelming. It's just about taking one small step back to what He originally intended. You deserve to feel amazing. And natural solutions are really closer than you think. It's just a text, a phone call, or a stop by Carr Brothers away.
Start your wellness journey today. Reach out to Tony Carr Hathaway. She's been waiting for you. Text wellness to 804-212-8571.
Hi, this is Andy Clark with Ligon Jones Insurance Services. We're proud to give back to our community by supporting local youth sports and encourage you all to get out and cheer for your team. We're a local independent agent representing Erie Insurance and several others. Give us a call at 804-458-8522 or stop by our new location at 5392 Prince George Drive, Suite B, and let us show you what old-fashioned customer service feels like. We can be your insurance concierge and save you money. www.ligonjones.com.
K&L Barbecue at 1410 Maple Street, inside Cavalier Square, Hopewell, wants you to know they have great specials on the daily menu, such as hamburger steaks, grilled chicken, a lightly fried chicken sandwich, and of course, the best chicken and dumplings in the Tri-Cities. And don't forget about their world-famous barbecue and sauce. Dine in or carry out at K&L Barbecue. Call 458-4241. That's 458-4241 for K&L Barbecue.
Looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate? Let Keith and Mandy guide you through the journey of homeownership for years to come. With over 17 years of experience as multi-million-dollar producers, they specialize in residential and commercial properties across Richmond, Chesterfield, the Tri-Cities, and surrounding areas. Call 804-712-0188 and visit them at 11801 Center Street in Chester. They're online at hourglassrealtygroup.com.
And that's the bottom line.
And the truth, you'll set you free.
Now let's get back to the bottom line with Steve the Truth Nugent, Harry Clary, and Rick Morris.
That's right. This is the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show. I am Steve the Truth, and it is a beautiful, beautiful day. And, of course, if you want to join the show, 804-919-4192. Give us a call today. And, of course, folks, don't forget, August 2nd from 9 to 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings, we will be on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. We'll be breaking down pro football, NASCAR, everything, and some local sports as well. And don't forget, over the first couple of weeks in August, we're going to have some high school football coaches, the new athletic director and activities director and head coach for Hopewell Blue Devils football. Ricky Irby will be with us. And, of course, we'll have the athletic director, Billy Horn, for West End Christian School. And got some other ones that's going to confirm throughout the month of August, and we'll get you straight. Join us at 9 o'clock a.m. on Sunday morning. So when you get up and you're eating breakfast or on your way to church, turn it to 106.1. You can hear us.
That's right. And during the football season, turn it on at 9 o'clock and listen to us, because we will be talking about football before the NFL games start.
That's right. And Harry, of course, coming up in the next segment is the Fantasy Football Authority with Mr. Harry Clary, and we'll have that on Sunday morning. So you might be able to looking for some help. He might
sponsored by
Hourglass Realty Group.
And Keith and Mandy are listening now, from
yes,
what I understand.
Yes, they are. We want to thank them for all their support. Of course, moving on to the AFC North, and what we're doing is the biggest storylines coming in. Training camp, rookies reported this past week, veterans next week. First game is August 6th for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And like I said, best time of year, Harry. Can't say it enough.
Everybody loves fall anyway. They get tired of this heat, and not only do you get the good weather, you get the NFL, the greatest sport in the world.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Now, people ask me, what's your favorite season? Summer, fall, spring, winter? I said football season. That's my favorite season of
Which
the
is
year.
fall and winter.
That's right, all combined. Okay, the Baltimore Ravens, they got a new coach. Minter gets Lamar Jackson and the Ravens to the Super Bowl. Can he get them to the Super Bowl, Harry? I'm not sure. That's exactly what Minter was hired for. They were feeling that the Ravens had a run, of course, under John Harbaugh. Of course, he was there for 16 years with the Baltimore Ravens. And now he's with the New York Giants, and sometimes a fresh start. Really look at Grable with New England.
Right. Well, they've got a really good defense. They got Zay Flowers, and, of course, they got the Derrick Henry that nobody wants to tackle. Lamar Jackson's one of the greatest athletes, maybe even in the world, but certainly one of the most athletic quarterbacks I've ever seen.
Yeah, now Baltimore makes this coaching change at the time that when Jackson turns 30 in January, only 2 years left on his contract. So, hey, that's a big deal. Of course, Minter, if he can get him to play and stay healthy and play with what he's got on the field and pick up a free agent. They just need to give the ball to Henry. It's just sometimes they don't. You know, I'm not a Baltimore Ravens fan. I've been there several times. We covered Baltimore when we were at the training camp a couple of years in a row, Harry, you and I, when we were covering the other network. And, you know, I like the players in Baltimore, but they got a lot of talent. It just ain't, you know, and Josh Allen, too, Buffalo. We talked about them earlier. They ain't been over the hump because of Kansas City. Baltimore ain't been over the hump because Kansas City.
And Baltimore also has to worry about Pittsburgh and the Cincinnati Bengals, and really even the Browns.
Yeah, even the Browns. Well, we'll say that right now.
Well,
it is July.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, and of course the Cincinnati Bengals. Do the Bengals need an elite defense to be a contender again? Defense wins championships. Nope, says Ben Baby. Cincinnati just needs to improve its effort of the last two seasons. Last season, a lackluster effort resulted in the Bengals ranking 27th in points allowed per drive. You know, that's a bunch. Led Cincinnati to revamp its defense this offseason, adding starters in key positions. So can Al Golden, the coordinator, can he get the Cincinnati Bengals ready to play on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, see, Joe Burrow needs some help. You know what I mean? If they had a good defense, he wouldn't have to put it out on the line so much.
Yeah, they've been to the Super Bowl once with him already. They came up short against the Rams, which, like I said, the Rams now, they were 1 or 2 plays away last season from going to the Super Bowl again.
They got great weapons. They got Jamar Chase and Chase Brown. They just need one more Chase.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need. Yeah, and now let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, Mike McCarthy is their new head coach. And, of course, him and Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl together with the Green Bay Packers. I believe it was 2009. And
they've been together before.
Yeah, so your idea of the Steelers right off the top of your head.
Well, I watched Colin Cowherd. I guess a lot of people do. And he still believes in Aaron Rodgers. And I kind of do, too, because Aaron Rodgers is a gifted quarterback. His legs would buy him time. He's got one of the best arms. Remember all those 60-yard Hail Marys he threw? Mm-hmm. He's probably thrown more long Hail Marys than anyone. He's really smart. They've got DK Metcalf there. They got who'd they pick up at receiver, Steve?
Oh, they picked up, let's see who we got here. DK Metcalf, Pittman Jr.
Pittman is who they picked up. Pittman Jr. from Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. And I think Pittsburgh is going to surprise some people.
Yeah.
Everybody's counting them out.
Yeah, well, at age 42, Rodgers isn't the same player McCarthy last coached in 2017. That's the last time them two played together. But he does have – Aaron Rodgers does have it, and it's Aaron Rodgers' last season. He's already said it.
Yeah, he's already announced that, but he's done that before, Steve.
That's exactly right.
He's pulling a Brett Favre.
Yeah, and then
Tom Brady.
Yeah. Yep, he might come back. They give him some more money, especially if they win the Super Bowl. I don't know. If they won the Super Bowl, he'd probably retire.
He can go to the Jets again.
Yeah, go back to the Jets. All right, moving on to the AFC North, I believe it is. No, it'd be the South. Houston Texans, biggest story. We talked about Houston the last couple of weeks on here. I think they got the best defense in the league. How good is their offense exactly? That's exactly the question, Harry.
Well, you see, they have the defense, and we've established that. And I believe if C.J. Stroud can have a good year, that would be just enough to put them over the top to win the division again.
Yeah, Texas defense ranked number 2 in points allowed, 17.2 per game, and allowed the fewest yards, 277.2. And every key pressure on the offense, which they did. They did their thing on the defensive side of the ball, which kept Houston in it. Like I said, I think they started 0-3 last year. They don't need to get off to a slow start like that. If C.J. Stroud can come out there and play, I think Houston will be a contender.
D'Amico Ryans is a great coach.
Yeah. The Indianapolis coach, of course, Danny Dimes, had them at 8-1 last year, got hurt. They didn't even make the playoffs. Can Daniel Jones return to form is the question. There is no longer a bigger question for the Colts following Jones tore Achilles in December. He has returned to the lineup quickly, having participated in a limited basis of off-season workouts, and he's expected to be full participant in training camp coming up this week. So your thoughts about the Colts?
Well, Danny Dimes is a gamble. That's how I see him. I think he is really good, but it's something about him that I don't quite trust yet. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that he looks like Jim Carrey. And maybe gets in the huddle and says, "All righty then."
All righty then. Yeah, from Ace Ventura. Yeah. Yeah. And,
but they have Taylor at running back, so
yeah, Jonathan Taylor is a beast.
That speaks for something right there.
Yeah. Now, taking a look at this team right here, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, they had a good season last year. They made the playoffs, and they lost to Buffalo. They can't get over the hump. They lost to Buffalo at home to the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs, and they bringing back pretty much the same team. What exactly is the plan for Travis Hunter? Of course, he was the Heisman Trophy winner. Will he start on defense, or will he be the team's top cornerback? And like I said, they do have Brian Thomas Jr. as well, so I'm not sure which way they're going to go, but the offense seems to be pretty good.
Well, in fantasy football, I had Brian Thomas Jr. and I also had Jacoby Myers, and I didn't have luck with either one of those guys. But they have a running back called Basal Tootin that's coming in. And if Tootin ain't scooting, they're going to be booting.
That's right. That's a good way to put it. All right, we're going to finish it up here with the Tennessee Titans. The biggest storyline, can the offensive coordinator, Brian Duvall, who came from the Giants, was the head coach, and help Cam Ward become an elite quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. You just mentioned the head coach. He handpicked Duvall to work with the quarterback because of his previous experience, and notably with Josh Allen in Buffalo. Dabo has two key components in making a situation work and established a relationship with Ward and the person and seeing the game through Ward's lens. So can Cam Ward make a big step this year with the Tennessee Titans at quarterback?
Tennessee is really not that good of a team. I know a lot of Tennessee fans, and they are loyal fans. But the consensus is Tennessee is supposed to be a better team this year. But that division they're in, anybody can win it.
Yeah, anybody can win that division. You're exactly right. With that, no, let's finish it with this before we take a break and come back with the Fantasy Football Authority segment of the show. Let's talk about the entertainer that is Rick Morch. Denver Broncos. The biggest storyline is the Broncos offense championship worthy. Is the offense championship worthy is the question.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I think Bo Nix, if he wouldn't have got hurt, Denver liable been in the Super Bowl against the Seattle Seahawks.
And maybe won it.
And possibly, well, you got to be in it to win it. So, yeah. And I look for Denver to do what they did last year and build on what they got. Davis Webb be calling plays instead of Peyton. The head coach gave up play calling. A significant change. Webb worked together weekly with Bo Nix to get this, the play calling somewhat like Sean Payton likes to do. Your thoughts on the Denver Broncos?
Well, the Denver Broncos, of course, were a great team last year. And it's kind of like you say, they've got a great they got Cortland Sutton at wide receiver. And let me see, they picked up Jalen Waddle. And I forgot the name of the receiver I had last year. He was pretty good, but they got the running backs.
Cortland. Was it Cortland?
No, I mentioned Cortland.
Oh.
It's another guy.
Marvin Mims Jr.?
Huh?
Marvin Mims?
No, not Mims. If you keep going thinking, you'll get it. But anyway.
Pat Bryant?
Running back, they got J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, and they got a guy coming in named Coleman. So they're going with a committee this year at running back. I don't think it's going to be any one guy, but yes, you got to say they are definitely contenders.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt about it.
I think so, too. With Sean Payton, I like him a lot. I wish he would have came to Miami, but he didn't.
I had their third wide receiver last year, and I can't even think of his name. He did pretty good, though.
Troy Franklin.
That's him, Troy Franklin.
That's who it was.
Finally, Troy Franklin. That's the guy. But they got so many receivers, it's hard to think of all of them.
That's right. The man behind the glass. I mean, got the bell going on, too. We got it.
We got like, ding, you got it right.
All right. With that,
Where was that when I couldn't think of it?
Yeah.
I just thought about it.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to take a break. When we come back, it'll be the last segment of the show. Fantasy Football Authority with Mr. Harry Clary right here. And you can chime in 804-919-4192 right here on the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Hi, this is Andy Clark with Ligon Jones Insurance Services. We're proud to give back to our community by supporting local youth sports and encourage you all to get out and cheer for your team. We're a local independent agent representing Erie Insurance and several others. Give us a call at 804-458-8522 or stop by our new location at 5392 Prince George Drive, Suite B, and let us show you what old-fashioned customer service feels like. We can be your insurance concierge and save you money. www.ligonjones.com.
K&L Barbecue at 1410 Maple Street, inside Cavalier Square, Hopewell, wants you to know they have great specials on the daily menu, such as hamburger steaks, grilled chicken, a lightly fried chicken sandwich, and of course, the best chicken and dumplings in the Tri-Cities. And don't forget about their world-famous barbecue and sauce. Dine in or carry out at K&L Barbecue. Call 458-4241. That's 458-4241 for K&L Barbecue.
Looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate? Let Keith and Mandy guide you through the journey of homeownership for years to come. With over 17 years of experience as multi-million-dollar producers, they specialize in residential and commercial properties across Richmond, Chesterfield, the Tri-Cities, and surrounding areas. Call 804-712-0188 and visit them at 11801 Center Street in Chester. They're online at hourglassrealtygroup.com.
I just want to encourage everybody listening today. Your health matters. Your peace matters. You don't have to settle for feeling exhausted, stressed, or just stuck wherever you are. God gave us everything we need. Simple, powerful gifts from the earth to support our bodies naturally. It's not complicated. It's not overwhelming. It's just about taking one small step back to what He originally intended. You deserve to feel amazing. And natural solutions are really closer than you think. It's just a text, a phone call, or a stop by Carr Brothers away.
Start your wellness journey today. Reach out to Tony Carr Hathaway. She's been waiting for you. Text wellness to 804-212-8571.
And that's the bottom line.
And the truth! You'll set you free!
Now let's get back to the bottom line with Steve the Truth Nugent, Harry Clary, and Rick Morris.
All right, we are back here at the studios. Of course, we want to thank you for joining us. Of course, this is one of our first shows there on the YouTube. I'll get it out here in a minute. And we want to thank the man behind the glass, that is the entertainer, that is Rick Morris. Of course, Harry, we don't have but a very few minutes left, man, so let's go right into
Fantasy Football Tips with Harry Clary, brought to you by Hourglass Realty. The Fantasy Gridiron, the toughest place to win, the most difficult place to make choices. Which players to start, which players to sit. Do you make a trade? You need help? Well, help has arrived here on the bottom line. Now, there's Fantasy Football Tips with Harry Clary. His advice may just give you the edge you need to win in your league. Let's turn it over to Harry right now.
Okay, well, today we're going to talk about quarterbacks. And we're gonna cover everything as the season goes on. The first thing I'd like to say is when I go down this list, it's not about the best quarterbacks. It's about the best fantasy quarterbacks, which is a whole different ballgame if you play fantasy football and you know that. Mm-hmm. Well, then the first thing I'd like to say is your best chance this year, get Josh Allen. Just get him because you won't have to worry about anything else if you get Josh Allen.
I think I'm going to make a trade for him.
You should. DJ Moore is on. He's on board now. They got Shakir, they got Kincaid, and they got Cook. So I'd say get Josh Allen. Number 2, I have Lamar Jackson. He is a great athlete. He's got Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and, of course, Derrick Henry to throw to. Number 3, I have Drake May. And they picked up A.J. Brown this year. They got Romeo Dobbs. They got Hunter Henry. And they got our guy, Travion Henderson. And, of course, they did great last year. So pick up Drake May if you possibly can. Then you got Jalen Hurts, who's kind of like Josh Allen. He runs a whole lot of them in. And since A.J. Brown's gone, we have Devonta Smith at wide receiver. He's going to be the main guy there. Dallas Goedert. And they got Hollywood Brown. Saquon Barkley, going to throw a bunch to him. Mm-hmm. So pick up Jalen Hurts if you possibly can. Then we have Joe Burrow, who's kind of a gamble because he gets hurt a lot, and why wouldn't he on that team? Mm-hmm. And he has Jamar Chase, and he has a tight end named Drew Sample that's supposed to do pretty good this year, and, of course, Chase Brown at running back.
And that Cincinnati offense is a tight end offense. They love the tight end.
That's right, and that's who you got to dump off to when you're in trouble sometimes. Number 6, a lot of people say I got this guy too high, Caleb Williams. Coach Ben Johnson. They got Rome Oduns, the wide receiver, and Colston Loveland is supposed to break out as a tight end this year.
Caleb Williams is my grandson Cam's favorite player in all the National Football League.
Well, I'll tell you what, he doesn't get hurt. He shows up all the time. He does a great job. I got him at number 6. I'd say if you can grab him. Number 7, I got this guy really low. I got Patrick Mahomes low because he got hurt, and he may not even make it at the beginning of the year. But, of course, Andy Reid. They got Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and they picked up Kenneth Walker III, which is going to help the team a lot.
He's Super Bowl MVP.
That's right. And we got Dak Prescott. He's, a lot of people want to count him out, but he's always in the top 10. You got Brian Schottenheimer as the coach there, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, who would be my pick, and Jake Ferguson at tight end, and, of course, Javonte Williams at the running back.
Right. Dallas's problem is not on the offensive side of the ball.
Most teams have 12 coaches, so Dak Prescott should be on somebody's team. And speaking of a guy that should be on the team, that's Matthew Stafford. I got him at number 9, and I think he should be at number 9. I got Bo Nix at number 10.
Bo Nix.
I got and mostly him and Brock Purdy in position. I got Brock Purdy at number 11 because of the situation that they're in. And I'm going to end it up with Jaden Daniels, and a lot of people are going to cry and say, why don't you have him higher? Well,
he's coming off injury too.
That's right, coming off an injury too. And I've got Jared Goff at 13. I've got Jackson Dart at 14. I've got Trevor Lawrence at 15. Justin Herbert at 16. And sleepers, I have TJ Stroud and Tyler Show because he's 6'5", 220.
Kellen Moore's going to really do something with that.
Kellen Moore is a really good coach. Kamara is coming back. They got Olave, rookie Jordan Tyson coming in. So let's look for the Saints to be a better team next year. And that's going to wrap it up for Fantasy Football Tips.
Yeah, Fantasy Football Tips is what it is. And with that, we're going to end our show. We want to thank everybody for joining us. Of course, next week, check us out. August 2nd, next Sunday, we'll be on ESPN 106.1, ESPN Richmond, from 9 to 10 every Sunday morning until now to the Super Bowl. So with that, we're going to leave you. Until then, we'll see you next week.
Say good night, Harry.
Good night, Harry.
All right. You're listening to the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
And that's the bottom line.
And the truth shall set you free.
Thanks for tuning in to The Bottom Line with Steve the Truth Nugent, Harry Clary, and Rick Morris.